Okay, so I'm Grasswalker. Hello, welcome to the second game of Group C, which, after the first game, is the best and most interesting to watch group of the Dota 2 2022 Bot Masters. On the Radiant side, we have Pub Simulator for 7.19C, that's a long time ago, and the unfair default Valve bots. Let's kick this lobby off and see how it goes. Turn this off real quick, there we go.
All pick.
Let's see what they decide to pick. Hub Simulator could really start going for anything. Valve's default bots have picked really quickly. They've gone Shadow Fiend, Sand King, Wraith King, Axe, and Sven. I am worried for them with some of these picks because I don't think Wraith King has won yet this tournament, and Sand King I am very certain has not won yet this tournament. So they're picking some heroes that have either a 0% win rate or have not really been picked yet. Sven, I don't think has been picked yet. Axe has been picked and lost. And Shadow Fiend I don't think has been picked yet. Actually, I think Shadow Fiend has been picked. I do think he got picked one game. I think we saw him pick up the Shard and the Axe as well. And on Pub Simulator we've got Zeus, Timbersaw, Nature's Prophet, Bloodseeker, and Treant. The thing about Pub Simulator is these are the 5 heroes they pick. They will always pick these 5 heroes. I was talking earlier about what they might pick. This is the only 5 they pick. And seeing it has reminded me of that fact. Immediate Smoke from the Treant. He buys it, but he doesn't use it. The Nature's Prophet has 2 Salves and a Blightstone, and is looking like he wants to offlane. It looks like you've got a Zeus mid, starting with most of a Null Talisman and 4 Clarities. Treant seems like he wants to run and get a mid ward. This is good behaviour, I will say. This is an excellent start for their game. If he'd smoked, he would have got here and the Shadow Fiend would have no idea. But it looks like Sarah the Shadow Fiend too busy queuing up 2 branches on the courier. 2 branches and a stash, 3 tangos and a salve on the courier. My apologies. Treant smokes now, but I'm not sure now's the time to smoke. Bloodseeker is spamming Blood Rage, but I'm not sure when the last time this was changed, but this costs your health over time. Still got 30 seconds before the game begins, and he has put himself to half health. I can't ping that for the percentage. But he might be forced to pop one of these cells before the game begins. We've got Timbersaw walking as if he plans to go bottom. 3 branches and a ring. An aggressive movement from the Valve default bots. We've seen a couple bots make this move. 2 heroes running into the enemy jungle. They find a salving Bloodseeker and they're like, what the heck is this guy up to? The Valve bots pick up 3 bounty runes and it might just be first blood. The Bloodseeker's not going to win this. It's 2v1. GG fast finish, says the Zeus. I wanted to go mid this morning, took my fucking lane, says Bloodseeker. Treant just wants everyone to be friends, and Timber hates Treant. All a good set of roleplay here for the lanes. One last hit for Zeus already. It's going to be really important what he can do in these first couple of waves against the Shadow Fiend, because you start letting him get souls, he can get the rest of his souls a lot easier, and then that's it. Like, he can just out-CS the Zeus all day long. Not too bad with the Zeus. 3 or 4 creeps on the first wave compared to Shadow Fiend's. We'll say 2, but this range creep hasn't died yet. Keeping an eye on mid. Just want to get a feel for this lane. Zeus has the first level 2 because the range creep is still alive on the Radiant side. Now the Shadow Fiend levels up, picks up Raise, starts using his Raises already. In the other lane, I do not foresee a 1-position Timbersaw dying this game. If he's out of position, sure, but they have effectively 3 physical damage right-clickers, and this guy gets a buttload of armor. Sven? He's not having a good time up here. He has no last hits. We are almost 2 minutes into the game. It looks as though it's actually a 5-position Sven, and that's why he has no last hits. This is... I probably should have picked up on this earlier, but this is highly unusual and not good. Like, I don't know what a 5-position Sven offers to you. Warcry is not particularly good. Shadow Fiend's off on a wander. Looks like he's thinking about bottling some runes, but what this is really costing him is XP. Zeus, 3.5 when these creeps die. Shadow Fiend, just 3. Zeus with 2 more CS, but it's about to be... Oop, still 2 more because he misses both of those. And that one. Never mind. Best farmer on the map so far is Timbersaw. Ooh, Sand King, Burrow strikes in, Axe with the call on 2. Is he going to get some lucky spins? Very unlucky from the Axe. Didn't get a single spin in this entire engage. Gets a couple at the end, but it's already over. Nature's Prophet is laning by himself. It's a jungle Bloodseeker. He's gone boots first. If you're going to jungle and Bloodseeker, at least get like 4 branches and most of a Wraith Band, maybe. I mean, he's yet to get a CS, so jungle Bloodseeker is clearly not working out for him. He's been working on this Hellbear the whole time? What has he been up to? Timbersaw is more than happy to solo. I think Timber is actually happier to solo against Sand King and Axe. He would rather do this than lane with a Bloodseeker. He doesn't want Bloodseeker in his lane. He wants solo XP. This guy wants to get as much reactive armor. He wants to get this chakram up as early as possible. The higher level he is, the less likely he is to die, and you only level up by having XP. Get the Bloodseeker out of your lane, get some levels going. Similarly, I think Nature's Prophet is happy to be left alone because, I mean, it's a 5-position Sven. He's not really going to punish you that much. If this was someone like a Witch Doctor or a Dazzle or maybe something even a little bit more aggressive like a Snapfire or Venno, I don't think this Nature's would be able to lane, but it's a Sven. He can't do anything to stop this. Zeus, 2 levels ahead of the Shadow Fiend, 1 level ahead of the Shadow Fiend now. SF bottling up, catches the rune. Zeus has a chance here to get some good CS in, but misses all of it again. SF gets 1. CS is excellent from Timber. That's 24 CS in 4 minutes. He's on track to get 50 at 10 minutes, which is more than you can ask for from players, to be honest. Like that is a good amount of CS. You'll see 50 CS at 10 minutes from pro players, and especially a solo laning Timber. The Treant's come to join him now, but that's mostly on account of the Bloodseekers. Oh wow, the Treant's talking shit about the Timbersaw. Watched him miss the last hit. There's a lot of tension in this lane. Timber and Treant. You've got the man who hates trees and a tree. Burrow Strike in on the Treant. Timber trying to save the tree, but there's not too much you can do. Treant heals himself and runs. Oh, the Timber with huge damage. It's 2 strength heroes. It's a fine lane for the Timber. Just leave him solo. Nature's Prophet forced back to base. Maybe the Treant should be up there with Nature's Prophet. And maybe the Bloodseeker should stop trying to jungle because it's 6 minutes in and he just got his first last hit. He is still level 1. He's going to end up as a liability more than anything. Sven has 15 denies. That's something I just spotted. He is now able to last hit because the Wraith King has left. The Wraith King has just left. The default unfair bots, not quite playing how I would have thought they did. I've always imagined the default bots, because I used to play against them a lot when I was a lot younger, I always imagined the default bots pick something like Sniper or Viper, send it mid, crush the lane, group up as 5, Deathball. I never saw him pick weird stuff like this. I would never have ever assumed Sven 5 from default bots. Timber finally has his 6, but doesn't have too much mana to work with. Bloodseeker still has 1 CS. Is yet to achieve anything in this game, we will say. He is blood raging himself lower and lower by the second. But he's gonna want to do something different. Like, even the 5 position Sven, who's got 20 denies, got a couple of CS when the lane was empty. Stun onto Nature's, but he just runs away. Another stun onto Nature's, but he's already out. Got a salve, I would like to see him use it, given how low he is. Shadow Fiend seems to have forced the Zeus back to base. Zeus is struggling, and now the CS is starting to favour the Shadow Fiend. As we talked about before, once you start getting them souls up, what's that, plus 48 damage? Damage per soul, 3 times 17, that's 51 damage, yeah. It's really, really hard. Zeus only hits for 80. Then factor in the minus armor as well. Timber, though, is in a different world of farm. 42 CS on this Timber. Question is, can Timber carry this game? Can he put this game on his shoulders and say, this is my game? He's up against 4 strength heroes. He could absolutely carry this game single-handedly. Only non-strength hero and Agi Shadow Fiend. I mean, it's the perfect Timber game, right? And he's off to an excellent start. He has 2,000 gold stashed. I would like to see him spend it. 1,000 gold lead for the default bots. I think that's on account of Bloodseeker just not really playing the game. Zeus is sort of one mid from a levels perspective. Shadow Fiend is definitely getting the upper hand on CS. Like to see a Zeus ult as well. I'm not sure if Zeus is going to skill Heavenly Jump, because that is new. That's a new ability. Invis SF looking for something, but he's not quite sure what. Nature's Prophet gets an opportunity to farm up, but he's fallen quite far behind that Wraith King. Wraith King and Sven running quickly back to the lane. I don't want to watch this Prophet get any CS, but he gets 1. It's a range creep. Prophet puts him in the trees, gives him some right clicks, but that's going to be the end of that. SF getting some damage on the Zeus. Not sure if he'll be able to kill him though. Couple more raises though. Ooh, salve and the living armor. That changes that lane. Bloodseeker has hit level 2 and he has treads. He has 2 CS. So everything he has is from the passive gold. I don't think it was worth trying to jungle Bloodseeker. Maybe on a different patch. Recently, the jungle creeps were buffed to be really, really strong. And maybe Bloodseeker was nerfed to be less of a jungler. But he definitely feels to me like he's wasting his time. No one ganks my lane, Zeus is crying. Huge Zeus ult. Sort of just damages everyone on the map. Little bit cheeky. Prophet level 8. There's 2 blades of attack. I'm not sure what he's going for there. 700 gold in the bank. Item-wise, the Timber's not buying anything either. He has 3k gold. If this Timber doesn't start buying items... I mean, there's your first blood. I was talking about the Timber.
One by one.
He really needs to spend his money. If he respawns and buys 27 TP scrolls, I will cry. He's just farmed 3k gold. He could buy so much. If I was a Timber, I had 3k gold, what would I buy? Maybe like... nothing, according to Anton. I think I might get a halberd. I think I might go for an early halberd, maybe. You've got a lot of right-clicking heroes. Sven, Wraith King, Shadow Fiend, they all want to right click. I think an early oh, we got a little bit of questioning from Timbersaw. Are we bots? Bloodseeker games to be real. You are real Bloodseeker. You're gonna get yourself disqualified because this is the bot masters. Not for real people. Sorry. Timber farming up a storm, but what's the point if you're not going to use it? Could buy Sanj and Kaya soon if he wanted it. He could buy the Sanj, the little staff of wizardry. Staff of wizardry picked up by Treant. Got Shadow Amulet coming in for the Nature's Prophet. He wants to be a rat. Might work out for him. The default bot's not too good against ratting. Zeus also has 1600 gold and has spent nothing. A double damage Shadow Fiend hits for 240 damage. One kill in the whole laning stage. Switch it to net worth. I mean, Timber's so far up there, but he's just not spending his money. Oh, they jump in on the Nature's Prophet. I spied that out of the corner of my eye. Heal comes in, but so does the Svenel. He tries to TP home, but that's what kills him. I'm pretty sure if he kept running, he would have got away. Speed 340, speed 360, speed 370. They're a little bit faster, but I think he could have got away. Zeus dies solo mid to the SF, and he says, I'm done. Maybe these pub simulator bots are a little bit mentally weak. Starting to tilt and give up. Shadow Fiend's getting big. Got something on his courier. What's he got? Ooh, almost a finished Yasha for him. Gets this bounty room. Maybe clears up some creeps. It's a little bit stuck on the staircase. This one's causing him some confusion. Got a couple spots like that. There's one here. One sort of here-ish. And there's one here. Caused the bots a lot of confusion.
Back off!
Timber happy to use his skills. Without items, his skills don't feel as good. Jump on the natures, but he just puts the guy in a tree. Natures is still buying items, but he's not really buying useful items. Like a Shadow Amulet doesn't really do anything for you. Wraith King seems to want an armlet. That's what the helm, gloves, and the blades imply to me. Red's the choice for the Sven. Stuns up on the natures. Bloodseeker still trying to jungle. That Bloodseeker's still trying to jungle. I mean, the man has 5 CS in 15 minutes. Doesn't pick up the neutral item either. Realizes he can't take out the stacked camp that he's made. Maybe you shouldn't have stacked it then, buddy. Zeus. Falling behind mid. Prophet getting outplayed top. Timber did win bot, but he's got no items, so I think it's safe to say Pub Simulator has arguably lost all 3 lanes. Now the Timber has stomped this lane, don't get me wrong, but if he's not going to spend his money, isn't a good situation for the team. Zeus lost mid and isn't spending his money, so now you have a fat Shadow Fiend with a Yasha, Treads, Wand, and he's more than willing to kill that Zeus. Push comes in. I would like to see him stop denying the creeps and instead hit the tower. Come on, just a couple hits on the tower. Give it that extra oomph. You hit for 180, hit it 10 times, and He'll probably die. Waiting. At least double raise the creeps. Tank the tower so the catapult lives, maybe? No, nothing. Shadow Fiend just does the opposite of pushing. Prophet seems to like putting people in trees, but that's not really having an effect anymore. These tanky strength heroes, they don't care about that. Mid tower soon to fall. 3 kills in this game. They belong 2 kills for the middle lane. Oh. And 1 kill, I believe it was up top and it was on the Nature's Prophet. Killed each lane once. And Timber got a bit too far forward. Shadow Fiend got that killer solo move. Ended Zeus. We missed another one. Barely catch Timber at the end, dying. If he had spent his 5k on a pipe and a Songe, he might have survived that, but he's got nothing, so he's only got 1300 health. The Epicenter does a good 600-700 damage, plus right clicks. Shadow Fiend almost finding the jungle Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker not finding anywhere to CS. I mean, Timber's way up there in the CS charts. He just spending his money. Ooh, Zeus getting a little bit low. Treant thinks about coming in to defend the tower. He's running at the SF, but that's not going to work. He wants to put a ward down. Doesn't even put the ward, he just feeds mid. Gives Shadow Fiend even more money that he can put towards Sanj and Yasha. Arcane Runes, so it didn't even cost him any mana to get that kill. Does miss a couple CS though. Takes over as top dog of the game though. Nature's Prophet running the wrong direction. Timber manages to chain him. The Zeus ult gets the kill. First kill on the board for Pub Simulator. Dare I say they're back in the game. 500k gold swing. It's never been in their favour. Slowly starting to slip less and less. Zeus almost dying mid. Nearly missed that one as well. The observing skills going down the drain. And Treant feeds mid again. Puts the ward this time, but you can't feed 2 kills to put down a single ward. That's not worth it at all. SF hunting for something, I'm not sure what. Maybe a support kill is what he wants. Prophet trying to harass this Sven. Trying to find a way into this lane, but they got 2 stuns. They got 2 right clickers. Trees up the angry Sven, but now he needs to get out. Wraith King happy to dive the tower.
Has fallen.
Whoa! Kill mid. Get me out of this game, Zeus says.
Radiant structures are fortified.
No caustic finale for the Sand Kings. He can't really push anything.
Dire's
SF
structures
having
are
a
fortified.
wander. It's 20 minutes in and we just saw the first tier 1 fall, so I do not have high hopes
Radiant's top tower has
for
fallen.
how quick this game might end. Despite having a Nature's Prophet in it,
Dire's bottom tower has
I
fallen.
would assume this game would end fast. SF finds Treant again. Feeding at this point. Treant is now 0-4 and 0, making the SF 8-0 on a perfect game, no deaths. Ember and Nature's are kind of on the wrong side of this. They're going in on the axe. NP, you're not going to win that fight. Axe blinks over, gets that timber, chains across. He's buying items! He bought a soul booster. Zeus ults, and the timber's got items. It's not hopeless. Chasing down the SF. What's he trying to build? Soul booster plus clearance. Is this what Bloodstone used to be? And King getting picked off. We caught that one. Our two melee boys hanging out together in the top lane, still pushing. Doing their best. Glyph comes out. Prophet TPs. Rian on the backline. He's level 9 but doesn't have really any skills in anything. It's not even like he's maxing anything, he's just not spending any of the points. Nature's Prophet has Sven on the run. Zeus could ult if he wants to kill. It's on cooldown.
This is our
Alright, Nature thinks that he's built a Shadow Blade, but that's not what it is anymore. And Bloodseeker thinks he's building a Bloodstone, I believe. Timsaw rather thinks he's building a Bloodstone. I don't think that's how any of that works anymore. Unless there's something that's like Perseverance plus Cloak. No, it doesn't seem like it. 4 heroes coming mid. Pub Simulator, they want to push this tier 1 tower. NP comes in. That makes 5 heroes mid. Bloodseeker is the lowest net worth hero in the game, and that's because jungling doesn't work. Oh, Sven is in, he's red, he's big, the axe call, the cleave, it's all there, and it's a massacre. Timbersaw's the only one tough enough to survive. Wraith King dies, but he's gonna respawn. The Natures gets out. 4 kills for the default bots. Honestly, the stun into this cleave, very scary stuff. 2k gold swing in their favour from that. Game is beginning to slip away. Shadow Fiend is huge. If I'm the Bloodseeker, he's only level 4, he has no items. He's dead. I'm curious if Pub Simulator is not quite good enough to beat the Valve unfair bots, but maybe they can hold their own against some of the other teams in this group. Every matchup is different after all. Zeus ult. Zeus is also not skilling skills. NP TP's in, but that's going to be the end of him. Bloodseeker is super fast. Know where the axe is because of the thirst, but that's the end of that. A little bit of a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, SF hitting a tier 2 twice. It's a tiny amount of push on. I would love to see Wraith King summon some skeletons, maybe. They can help with the push. Sven, jungling for neutral items.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Picks up the Philosopher's Stone. I don't know if that's the choice, Sven. Like, I get that you want extra gold, but the minus damage might be costing you more gold than you're gonna get. They think about hitting the tier 3. But Nature's Prophet's little Wrath of Nature clears everything up. Combat happening over the tier 1 now. Stun on the Timbersaw. Here comes the Epicenter. He blinks in. It's an okay epi, but it's not great. It's good enough to kill the Bloodseeker in the end, but it isn't! Bloodseeker lives, it's the axe that dies. Zeus cleans him off. Question mark in the chat. Here comes a double damage. Shadow Fiend throws that hit. Lands even uphill. We almost 2-shots this tree, and he can see the Zeus as well. Ooh. Thankfully the damage split between them and they just survive. Double damage SF could clear this tier 2 up very quickly if he just hits it. Hits the 300, each chunk takes a good 150 out of it. Here too. Dead.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Strong performance coming here from the unfair bots. Bloodseeker gets the silence onto 3. No follow-up though. Nature's Prophet still thinks he's built Shadowblade. Now he's going perhaps for the Desolator. A new push mid. Still no Caustic Finale. Treant not using 7 of his level up talent points. Timber is using most of his, it looks like. 14 means he has 13 skills. He's used 4, 7, 9, 10 of the 13 points. Should probably put something into the talents and the Whirling Deaths. Zeus similarly is only using 6 of his points. He's effectively a level 7 hero. I mean, it's hard to imagine a win here, but that's a huge Zeus ult. Even NP catches the Wraith. Can they kill him twice? He has Blade Mail. Gonna hurt to kill him. Not if he doesn't activate it though. Rupture finishes off the Wraith King. He's coming back up. Not slowed quite enough. First life down. Will be killable for the next 120 seconds. Finds the Treant, who really has no business being there. Treant thinks that he's building a Force Staff, but that's not how Force Staffs work. BKB Shadow Fiend, most of this duration's wasted. Does actually just hit so hard. Now he's got the Deso. Godlike double kill for the 12-0 KDA'd Shadow Friend. He's running down mid. He's going to clean up some buildings. Fight recap's not the right fight. It's like Unfair Bots is taking this game. Hits it once to put the Desolator debuff on, but it'd be nice if you kept hitting it. Run on the high ground, give it some hits, come on. Besides, not 2. That's fine, I'm sure the push will handle itself. Here's the Death Ball, Treant murked. Please, hit the towers, there we go. They're crushing the first racks.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks
They're
has
thinking
fallen.
of throning it.
Radiant structures are fortified.
This is what I'm talking about with the neutral items. You've got someone like Sand King holding a Mindbreaker. How much do you think a Mindbreaker's worth in terms of gold? Like, what would you pay for that? So even though his net worth's down here at 6k, it's the lowest on the map, I'd put him above Nature's Prophet. Oh, Bloodseeker, that was an ambitious race car move in. Treant doesn't have any abilities. Axe was ruptured, not anymore. Treant could cancel the TPs if he had an overgrowth, but he doesn't, so Shadow Fiend will just feed off of his corpse once again. Loose ult finishes off the axe. Outpost stolen. And it looks like it's a bit of time for peace and quiet. Wraith King on his side of the map. Shadow Fiend doing a bit of jungling. Starless finished stash. I'd love to see him pick that up. Another double damage he's found from somewhere. That Fiend is worth so much. He is the 15k disparity, really. And the sword coming in. Trying to clean up the waves, but without items and not leveling up your skills, you don't really do any damage. Shadow Fiend comes in, misses most of his raises, but the right clicks are where the real damage is. Punch, punch, punch. Oh, he ults the Bloodseeker, he just face tanks it. Double kill, takes out the Zeus straight afterwards. Starts pushing the wave. And with this, they might feel comfortable going for the throne. They do have 5 heroes and they are deathballing mid. decent sized creep wave. Everyone's alive except for Zeus. Bloodseeker about to silence 4, but I'm not sure that matters. Nature's Prophet, wrong
Radiant's
end of the
middle
map.
tower has fallen.
Treant, wrong end of the map. But unfortunately, the Dire team just backed off. They could have ended it there. They
Dire's
back up to
structures
keep
are
in
fortified.
line with the creep wave. Zeus wants to clear up the creep wave. He sees that if there's no creeps, they leave. And sure enough, taking the creeps means that they leave. You can push without creeps, but they're not comfortable doing it. It would be hard to write that as a bot script, to know when to push without creeps and when not to push without creeps. They've got creeps again. I mean, the other team is 4-manning, looking for a tier 2, but if your throne is the one that's dying, there's no such thing as a trade-off for a tier 2.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Any bot script that doesn't have a thing in it for if your throne gets hit, TP everyone back. Axe comes in, calls. It's the last fight of the game, it looks like. Treant gets spun down. Huge epicenter, finishes off the Nature's Prophet. Timber's running for his life, he zips back in. They blink on him with 2 blinks. Axe call, Sven, stun.
This is not happening.
And there's your massacre. They tried for a little bit of split push and they just TP'd everyone back and killed them, and the game would have ended if they just hit the throne. Coming back to defend a tier 2 instead of winning is not the ideal move, but defending is useful. Okay, so now they're willing to hit the tier 1 even without the creeps. Then they go back and clear the creeps up. Shadow Fiend pushing top, everyone else pushes bot.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Shadow Fiend in the base, happy to push. It's these couple dead heroes. You can sense that they're so far ahead that nothing can be done about this.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Clears up a couple of creeps and then leaves. I'm not keen on that. Treant takes
Radiant
the
structures
outpost.
are fortified.
Lift on the Radiant side. Forces the push away for now. Bloodseeker, he does have this Sanking dead to rights, and sure enough, he is dead. A good way to start the fight,
Radiant's top
and that's a
barracks
bad
are
way
under
to
attack.
continue the fight. Bloodseeker dead, traded for the Sand King. When you are this far behind, equal trade, but,
Radiant's
like,
top barracks are under attack.
it benefits the team that's so far behind. But when you're this far behind, you're going to need a lot of those. Timber sitting with 3k gold in his bags. He's on the wrong side of the map, really. Valve's unfair bots decide that Rax is the choice.
Radiant's top barracks are
Rax
under
has
attack.
about 2k health, the throne has 4k health. The
Radiant's
other Rax is
top barracks
1300.
has
So
fallen.
you're doing 4k damage and not do 4k damage. Just take the throne. Like, we all know that you can do it. We all know that you're that far ahead. It's 24k up. Just, here we go.
Radiant's
And this is what they
Ancient
could have done
under
earlier.
attack.
Unfair bots cruise to a comfortable victory
Dire
against
victory.
Pub Simulator. The Jungle Bloodseeker was not the pick this game. It did not work at all. The heroes, they skilled their skills, but only to a point. Around level 8, Zeus just stopped putting points into things, probably because his intelligence is telling him to put it into his passive, but his passive doesn't exist anymore. So he tries to put it in his passive, it doesn't work, so that's he just stops putting points down. I wonder if you could back something like that up by saying, like in the script, because I don't know anything about coding, but you can have your little function, and when you have the thing, try to put it in this skill. If it doesn't work, put it in whatever other skill, just put it in whatever. Zeus 5-5, 0-4. Definitely a rough game. I kind of want to give Timber the MVP because of how well he did in the lane, but he had an awful mid game. Kind of want to give it to the Zeus because every single kill his team had, 7 of 8, involved him. It can't go to the Bloodseeker jungle, it can't go to the tree and he fed mid repeatedly. Probably can't go to the Natures. He laned 1v2 but he didn't make anything from it. On the dire side, MVP has to be the Shadow Fiend. He just outperformed all expectations. In terms of net worth, damage, item builds, a progression of real items for the Dire and just sort of an assortment of junk for the Radiant. Like you've just got a casual Shadow Amulet, you've got a casual Soul Booster, these aren't helping you win the game. An energy boost is not going to do anything. They're also willing to jungle for neutral items, something like a Titan Sliver. I think people would pay 2,500 gold for. Massive boost to the net worth. Pub Simulator did ward, but almost to its own detriment. Shadow Fiend, sure enough, more hero damage than his entire team combined, more building damage than his entire team combined. He put that game on his back. And it's very classic Valve bots. Like, they pick something tough and strong, like a Sniper, a Viper, a Shadow Fiend, they send it mid, they dumpster the lane, they take over the game, and eventually they start deathballing, and this hero it's just so good. In terms of graphs, we can see that Pub Simulator was never really in this game. Just always under the line, and it got further and further until it lost. You can see how Timber was the top player in the game. Vast majority of the early and the mid game, to be honest. From 0, 20 minutes, give or take, Timber was the best hero on the map, but he just didn't spend his money. He just sat there with 4k in his bank. That was a halberd, if it was 6 braces, if it was arcane boots and an ogre club, just anything really. It could have completely changed the game. And we see the Shadow Fiend continue to ball out of control. Dire pushes the rest of the heroes down, and eventually you've got 4 Dire heroes on top as the game ends. Thank you guys for joining me on the first round of Group C. A solid opening to the group, a bit of a stomp, and then honestly one of the best matches of the whole tournament so far. That's gonna go all caps in the YouTube highlight thing, like must watch game, this, that and the other. Hope this group can continue to deliver decent and entertaining games. See you in the next one. Bye.